Yes, I'm staying in the meeting. Hello, everybody. You're probably seeing me before I'm seeing you. Hello, hello. I'll give myself a thumbs up to start. Oh, that's nice. Whoops. I didn't want to do that. Hello, everybody. Hey, Tracy. I'm here trying to make sure you can hear me. And I see that it's already started on the camera thing there. There we go. Yay, I managed. Okay, that's always nice. So I've got the flourish here, and the reason that I have the flourish here it should be back to right now, Tracy, is because I am working on my little Scotty dog guys, and I'm doing all of their embroidery. And I think I told him I was going live, and then he decided he had to get on the internet. Can you see them all? This one didn't come out well. I don't like that color of thread. But I am getting to just putting names on. Oh, I can see it up there. And this one, Bob. Had to have a dog named Bob. Well, of course. I was trying to figure out what else I wanted to do to embellish them. And I was like, okay, let's come up with something. And names seemed to fit. So I thought, yeah, whatever. Still getting a little feedback somewhere. And now you have sound. Do you have sound now? Yes, no, maybe. Trying to get all the wrinkles ironed out real quick so we can go on to something fun because I want to play with that. Now we've got sound, Nancy. Okay, good, 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 good. And I tried to do the two camera thing so you guys can still see me even though I'm working over here. And those of you who watched Chicken Salad, if anybody did, know that I'm chintzy on stabilizer. This is my piece that I'm using for the dogs. I'm working on Scotty dogs tonight. I am. I've got my baby lock shoulder, and I am working on putting names on all of my Scotty dogs. I got the pattern from Beth at my sewing room, Beth Shibley Quilts. She drew it off of a quilt she found at the thrift store. And so I've made 12 of them, and I really wanted to embellish them some more. So I thought, well, let's put some names on them. I mean, I've got the machine, let's do it, right? So I've done most of them. I have 4 left to do. And I thought, well, I would do at least one on camera so that if anybody had any questions or anything about it, I could answer those as I go. And I put my camera up high so you could still see me, even if I'm working on doing the Scotty dogs. And there's not a whole lot of room over on top of the machine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to bring this over here. You can see what I'm doing in the other room, but it made it tougher for me to show you things because I didn't have all the machines in there. Oh, Tracy, I could do that. I hadn't thought about it. I was trying to give them all Scottish names, like Scottish boy names. So let's see. Gonna loosen that, untighten that some. I was trying to find, and I wasn't sure how people would feel about a dog being named after them. You want one named after you, Tracy? Is that what you're telling me? You want me to name one of these Scotty dogs after you? Trying to get this one straight in here because I'm going to put the name above. I may be changing the name on this one. I have a ton of She Shed crew members. Let's see, there's Lori and Colleen and Sylvia and Tracy and Nancy, and I only have 4 left. How many am I supposed to name after you? 1, 2, 12. How many would you like, Tracy? I actually named one Albert already. Does that count? I know your maiden name is Chevalier, right? Thinking this double camera thing isn't working so great, especially since my husband decided to get on the internet right as I started my live. You know, because FaceTime takes up lots of space. I'm not saying you're a dog. Okay, so do you want to be Tracy on the one that's got the camper on it? I'm trying to do this where you guys can see it. Nancy, do you want a dog named after you? Hello, Colleen. So Tracy has decided, Colleen, that she wants a dog named after her. And then let's see. Oh, the Nightbot's on and working tonight. I think you guys all saw the Nightbot got Lynn in Colleen's chat this morning. I'm gonna move you over a little, see if I can get you a better view. So what I've got here is this is the embroidery machine's area to program. And this embroidery machine came with a stylus, but I seldom use it. And I don't like the great big letters this machine makes, so I'm going to change it to medium. You guys can't see that up close. Let's see, so TRACY. And then I'm going to set it. And I think you can see that crosshatch there. That tells me that the name would be in the middle of the entire block. If I stitched it just like it is, I'm going to tell the machine edit end, and then I'm going to move this up some, and then I want to go to the left some, excuse me, so that I can put this name on here. And then I'm going to push this button so that I can see where the machine is going to stitch at. Let's see if we can get you. So if I push this button here, it goes right around where it's going to stitch. So I have a good idea. And I actually want to bring that down just a little bit. Try that again. And I moved it to the right a bit. Didn't move it far enough to the right. So I pressed OK, and I'm going to go back to the previous screen. And I'm going to move this over. And then I'm going to push that little show me button again. It's probably got a real name. I don't know what it is. Oops. Gotta wait till it stops moving before I can move things. Okay, so I'm gonna go a little down and a little bit over. Now the machine can get a little bit loud when it starts stitching. It is a cool machine, isn't it? Nancy Jean Guest says you can use any of those. All right, so I'm gonna press OK. And I know Colleen was fascinated by this the last time she saw it. So that's one of the reasons I thought I'd bring the flourish in. I'm gonna push the embroidery button, and then it shows me the screen, shows me where it's gonna stitch. I know what I forgot to do before I started. I meant to check the bobbin and see if there was enough thread. There should be. It'll stop if there's not enough thread and let me change it. But I didn't change it before the live because I wanted to show that it's just as simple as doing a regular one. Okay, so now what we've got is I'm going to push this button here that looks like a sewing machine foot, so it drops it. Yeah, I do too. And then there's a button here that just turned green, and I'm going to press start, and it's going to start stitching. I love my embroidery machine too, Nancy. Oh, geez. My younger son decided to try to claim that his older brother was my favorite. I said, you better get in line. You're both my favorite. We have 2 kids. How do you pick a favorite between 2? 11, maybe, Tracy, huh? And you're in blue metallic thread. Paulina, I used the alphabet on my little brother sewing machine, quilt to quilt. The baby that I was making it for, I'm going to lift the needle up, and then I'm going to take this out of here and see what the issue is. Use the presser foot lifter button to lift the presser foot. My thread broke. That's not a good thing. Why did my thread break? I have a short coming out tonight at 8:30 about my struggles trying to get this thing threaded earlier. You guys can laugh at it. It's the only thing I could do when it happened. So let's see. Let me bring you up a little bit so you can see the machine. This machine is really easy to thread. I know you're not supposed to pull that backwards, but I can't grab it anywhere else. This machine can be threaded one-handed. It's got the best and easiest thread guide in the world. And I don't know what kind Nancy has, but most embroidery machines that I've seen thread really simply. And that cardboard right there may have been the culprit for why the thread broke. And then we get to see how bad Melissa's manual dexterity is. I'm going to take that back there and catch it. Throw away the extra thread. Isn't it pretty? Well, hello, Sassy. How are you? Hello, Deborah. How are you tonight? Since I had to take the thread out anyway, I'm going to go ahead and change this bobbin because it might have enough thread on it. It might not. And I'm going to put this one in. And threading this is as easy as threading any other machine. You drop your bobbin in, and this is a baby lock, so it follows the same path as all the others. Sassy's got one of these machines. Yeah, it might be, but I've used that spool before, Nancy, and I was using it before I came on the live. So I'm hoping that it's not the spool. Okay, so I'm going to drop that, and then I want to thread it, and it didn't work for me. So we're going to laugh at Melissa while she tries to thread this machine. There's some thread. Y'all just saw that slick little move, right? That's supposed to be the fastest way to thread a sewing machine. And I gave that hint to somebody who then claimed it as her own. And if you've got better eyes than me, don't pick on me because I'm having a hard time here. Because I will haunt you. One of those nights. I couldn't thread earlier either. Come on. You're caught. Now you're going around. Then we get to laugh at Melissa as she tries to thread her machine. I may have to call Wayne in here and ask him to thread my machine for me. Honey. Mental pauses. That's cute, Tracy. I don't think he heard me. He must have gone outside. Ooh. Looky, looky. I may have gotten lucky. Seriously, this is one of those days where I just go, really? Okay, and I want to bring my thread up, get that bobbin thread up. All right, I'm going to slide this back in here. I guess it's good that all the crazy stuff happens on a live, right? Okay. Now on this machine, I'm going to bring you guys in a little closer. My auto thread, I think it's dirty, Nancy. I don't know how well you guys can see this here. The glare on it makes it hard. There's a needle and it'll go back 10 or go back. Click OK. And then I'm going to, because when it went back 10, it looked like it starts at the bottom of the R. Tracy, you sure you want to be immortalized in this? All right, and I'm going to hold on to that long tail of thread and press start. And I'm going to let it start stitching. And it cut the thread for me that time, so I didn't have to. $25 at a yard sale is worth whatever they charged you to fix your needle threader and stuff. It skipped the R completely. So I'll have to go back in and put the R in. Yeah, Deborah. I literally trying to do my trying to thread my machine earlier was a joke. Yeah. Well, I was kind of wanting to show you guys what happens when it does run out of bobbin while it's stitching. Because with regular sewing, air sewing, this is supposed to stop and then mark your spot so you can go back. Okay, so that's done stitching completely. And it says it's in finished embroidering. So now I'm going to open it and I'm going to pull it out. And I'm not going to take it out at the hoop because with that R not being stitched in, I need to put it back in and put that R in, but it skipped it. So I want to try to remove as much of that R as possible. And Sassy, I don't know how much you heard. I'm reusing my stabilizer until, there's nothing left of it. May have to do that off camera and then redo it. Or I may have to just actually, I'm going to say the words, Arthur, shut up, hand stitch over that R. Yeah, we got a nice job for a Monday night, Stephanie. I think so. Whoops, I'm trying not to drop that on the floor. If I drop it on the floor, then we're done for the night. I cannot get down on the floor. I do have my grabber stick. Yeah, it's over in the corner. I've been using it today. I was picking up thread and stuff off the floor. So there's Tracy. And I'm mad that R didn't stitch out like it was supposed to. You do the same thing, Nancy? Okay, so then I guess that the next person whose name I'm putting on here is Colleen's. Let's see, do I have one that has red on it? Or does Colleen want to be purple? Does Colleen want her name on a dog block at all? Tracy wanted hers on there, so I figured I'd do it. Oh, yes, exactly. And Nancy, Colleen has been doing some applique on that pig that she's been working on. And she was like, well, what kind of stabilizer do you use? And I told her, but I bought my stabilizer like this. It's like a whole roll of, this stuff. And well, it seems like, there's enough of it there I can afford to waste it. I'm still too practical to do that. So I told Colleen a couple of different things. I have kind of, Sylvia loves purple. Okay, I'll do Sylvia in purple. You want red? Is that red a good one for you? I know if I had red and gold, you'd be all over it. I would have already stitched it with your name. Oh, and did you guys see that Colleen came back and explained to me about how many baskets you have to get your innings so you can win the football game? She told me the Chiefs got more baskets than the Eagles did, right? Is that the team names? Chiefs and Eagles. So I guess that's why the Chiefs won. And for anybody who doesn't realize it, I am actually being, I hope, funny. Because I do know that you score touchdowns and have quarterbacks and field goals and all that stuff in football. Deborah's favorite color is orange. Okay, so Sylvia's purple and Deborah's going to be orange. Is that right? Okay. My senior year of high school, I still had to take a semester of PE, but I had really badly hurt my knee. Did it a couple of times between grade school and high school. And I couldn't run, I couldn't do anything physical because my kneecap was unstable and it had to heal. I did everything but rip that muscle beside your kneecap, and I don't remember, meniscus maybe. So I spent my last semester of my senior year of high school getting taking PE, but what I did was I learned the terminology for baseball, basketball, football, and hockey. But I thought it was cute yesterday. Okay, so now I got to take Tracy's name out of there. And the way my machine works is I have to go all the way out and start over. So I'm going to start over. And guys, we're going to make sure I spell Colleen's name right. 1L Coleen. Okay. We're going to set it in the edit. Now I'm going to go to, let's see, I want to bring it up a little bit. And it takes it up 1, 5, or 10, depending on how long you hold it. That should be good. Let's see. I'm just checking it, and then we'll start stitching it. Now, my family has always called me Lissa, not Melissa. So those people who are friends with me already know that that's the name I prefer. Hi, Dawn. How are you? I don't know how to spell it. Oh, hi, Irish Sail Lady. How are you? I'm playing with my embroidery machine tonight, and I've already made lots of boo-boos, which is good if you're showing how to use it. We broke the thread. I ran out of, well, I didn't run out of bobbin, but I was so close I went ahead and changed it just to take it out of there. Yes, I know how to spell it. I don't know what Nancy means biblically. Please tell me. Yeah. That camera is going to act up, so let me fix that. There it is. Okay. I'd give my, I love lasagna. We had ziti for dinner last night because we had cottage cheese in the fridge, etc. Yeah, and that for lunch today too, which was good. And had you guys seen me 10 minutes before the live, you would have laughed. You would have laughed at me because I was cramming my dinner down, going eat, eat, eat. But I had a headache. Now that only lasts just a couple of seconds. As soon as I went to fix it, it stopped. And you may be right, Tracy. It may be overexposed, but I've done everything I can think of to stop the lights. Hi, Kelly. How are you? Thank you, Lori. I'm getting to the useful end of this piece of stabilizer, though. And how I can tell that is that on this that I just stitched, pull it out gently, it didn't cut my jump stitches, which, oh, it is all on top of stabilizer. It must really need a cleaning because it didn't cut my jump stitches. Usually that means that I don't have stabilizer under an area. Oh, but what I was saying earlier is Colleen was talking about her applique and asked me about stabilizer, and I suggested, and some of you out there who haven't appliqued before, if you're doing a lot of heavy stitching in a specific area, you're going to want stabilizer in that area. And the stabilizer keeps your fabric, I don't know if you can see, there's like a little bit of a pucker right there, but it keeps it from puckering really badly whenever you put dense stitching there. And this actually could probably use an extra little bit of stabilizer. It could use a double layer instead of a single. Or you can put water soluble on the top, which I sometimes do. A thunderstorm. Oh, that's not good, Kelly. And let's see, where was I at? I went to Colleen's this morning. First thing, did you guys know that the Chiefs won? I think she said it about 30 times during her live. The Chiefs got more baskets than the Eagles did. I was going to say than the Indians. And there's Colleen's name stitched on there. The loose thread is from the fabric. So that's Colleen stitched on. And I've got just a little tiny bit of stabilizer left in there. YouTube is having issues. Yes, YouTube is having issues. It has been all day. Yeah, exactly. A coffee filter works. And where I was going with that, thank you, Kelly, for bringing me back to my own brain. Before all of this stuff was invented, you know, the stabilizers and the water soluble and all of that, they had other solutions for these things. They did things like used coffee filters and paper towels and old pieces of sheet as stabilizers under things. And so when I grew up, and was learning like paint the little dot painting they did. Uh, but they did dot painting and they did applique and they did quilting. But what they used back then was cereal boxes became patterns for quilt pieces and all that stuff. I mean, I grew up around creative people. My babysitter was creative, our neighbors were creative, and my mom wasn't so much, but my grandma was. And my grandma was a utility creator. She had 10 kids. She needed quilts for them. So go figure. She wasn't going to buy them anywhere. She was going to make them. Trying to get that lockdown in there. And so when I started doing more than just, simple kids' clothes or quilts, I already had the idea of make, do, and reuse in my head. And so I used cardboard and I used coffee filters and dryer sheets and paper towels. And I'm still just as likely to use that. The only reason that I have store bought now is because I have so many grandkids. That's not all the way in there. I have so many grandkids that I'm almost constantly making something for one or another of them. And I don't always have a supply of coffee filters or old paper towels, or because I'm not using, I'll use new coffee filters, but I'm not using paper towels that just came off the roll. Those things are expensive. Yeah, they aren't counting views in real time. Yo, Patty G, how are you? Yeah, if you're going to be crafty, you've got to be creative because money doesn't grow on trees, folks. I know everybody knows that, but it's just how I came up. And let's see, Deborah Holdman, Debra, is that right? Well, I guess I'm glad I waited until the live to do these names. Debra. Yep. Okay, set. And I want to move this up. And Colleen, money doesn't grow on trees, and you know it. You're as cheap as I am. Let me slide back here. I'm proud of myself for getting that sewing machine credit. So I see Patty came in, Kelly's here. Vacation brain. Vacation brain's a real thing. I had grandkid brain after they were all here. And I shouldn't, right? My husband was talking to his daughter um, about faith things, religious stuff. Her daddy's pretty knowledgeable. He was studying to be, I think it was a deacon in the Episcopalian Church before he and his first wife separated. And that kind of went by the wayside. He's very, very knowledgeable. And his daughters will often call him and ask questions. So I shouldn't complain about it being on the phone at the same time as me. That's important. It's actually more important to my life. You're heading across the border into the US, Kelly? That's the only country I know that borders Canada. I could be wrong though. I didn't get great grades in geography. I did pretty well in history. Yeah, I do hope you have a great trip. Now I doubled the stabilizer up on this one. So this one should be less puckery than the others. And I did a short the other day, Seattle, okay, for Colleen, and I did another one today. Yeah, stabilizer is pricey. So I did a short today with this. I wrote all over it with a friction pen and scribbled on it and all that. And then I ironed it all out just to show Colleen the magic trick. And see, it didn't cut the bobbin thread again, which is fine. I'll cut it. But then I don't want to leave that super long bobbin thread on there. I don't know if you guys can see how long it is. It's about 6 or 8 inches long. Put that in the garbage. Because with embroidery, you don't want threads getting all mixed together. Adulting during the week? What age do you teach, Dawn? And if so, what age or ages? I saw Seattle, but I didn't see where you're going after that. Yeah, and that's why I reuse stabilizer so much, Sherlock. It's not because, well, it is because I'm cheap, kind of. But, I mean, when you figure out this stuff is $50 for that roll I had up, so it's about $1 a foot, and this is about a foot stabilizer. There's still some use in that. Got a good bit of use in that still. Ah, okay, that makes sense. Let me put it over here. You can see it. Deborah, you're immortal. Immortal. And then I've got one more name to do, and that's Sylvia. I won't bore you guys to death with that. I mean, I'll do Sylvia's name. I'll do it after we get off the live. But the reason I brought the machine in here is because a couple of people had said, oh, I have an embroidery machine. You have to be frugal when you're crafting and doing stuff. Yeah. Sometimes you can get away with it. I will admit, oh, I'm still kind of like, did I do that? I threw away a basket full of thread. It was one of those little small baskets that you get from Dollar Tree. And the thread, my mom's been gone 18 years. I know she bought it several years before she died. So it was at least 24 years old, roughly. And when I pulled on it, it snapped. I was trying to use it in quilt blocks and work it. Have a great night, Stephanie. But I was trying to use it in quilt blocks, and I washed the first quilt I made with it, and it wasn't good. Oh, I think that Colin got the same troll that I got yesterday, who was complaining about my camera angle and telling me that I needed to go to photography school or learn better how to film. I'm not going to photography school, or nobody's going to watch a second video of mine. I try to balance between giving you as up close as I can get you, with being far enough back so that you can wear something. And so I wasn't super concerned. Chat disconnected. So I wasn't super concerned about the fact that it didn't show you the, minute details of the ruler. But I was really kind of like, really? I didn't respond politely. I just hit her from my channel. I went and looked at her channel and she had a bunch of videos of things at her kids' school. And I'm quite certain she's the parent who stands in the middle of the aisle and films everything where nobody else can see their kid graduate because she's got a camera and she's important. She's that parent, I'm sure. So anyway, I took the comment as worth about as much as she paid for it and went on. I was like, yeah, some people's kids. So as far as the flourish goes, it can do way, way, way more than just stitch names on. And I will do some videos because I don't think you guys really want to sit and watch me do a really involved embroidery on a live because that means I can't chat. It means I'm going to be working at the machine and playing with that. But it can do super involved things and you can program it to do things you want it to do. Let me grab a couple over here. I'll be right back. Well, I thought that I had put all of my, it's Kelly's Cruise's son's birthday. This is one I did a while back. And with embroidery, just like anything else, you do practice pieces, right? So this is a big old Sunbonnet Sue that I downloaded from somewhere. It still has stabilizer on the back. It has 2 layers of stabilizer on the back. And I did, up here at the top, I didn't put any stabilizer because I wanted to see what the bonnet would look like. And it didn't do badly for how much was being done there. And then I've done edge to edge quilting on there. I have not tried to quilt a quilt, but Nancy, it's on my bucket list too. And good thing y'all can't read it because quarantine is misspelled. But if I've got a new stitch or a new idea, I just pull this out and do it. And this isn't, like I said, this is my practice piece. But I've done little embroidery pieces that I've put on coasters. I've done little embroidery pieces that I've put into bigger bags. And remember, Arthur doesn't let me hand stitch. So I have to, I had to kind of I love the sunbonnets too. I have a quilt of them, as a matter of fact, floating around here somewhere. And this was back when I was deciding if I wanted to do great big blocks or smaller ones, and the smaller ones won out, which is why we've got the big one to play with. But what I like about this is that you can put down the various pieces of fabric at different times, and the machine gives you what it calls a tracing stitch or a loading stitch. It'll stitch down like the outline of the dress, and then you lay your fabric on top, and then it stitches the outline of the dress itself in the pretty stitch. You can cut off the excess fabric and then keep doing the pieces, but you have to start at the bottom piece and keep one. Um, you don't have to use the SF-101. I do a lot because I use like this Scotty dog is on a piece of sheet, and it's on a piece of sheet that I bought from the thrift store and I cut up because there were some stains in the sheet that I didn't want to use in a quilt. So I cut, I think these are 10 and a halves by squares. So I cut up the sheet and used the squares. I just found in the bucket that this was in, I've got a bunch of 10-inch squares over there of white fabric that I cut out for doing things like this. So, oh yeah, except I don't usually sew for money, but yeah, it would be a great money maker. Something like that. I've got a ton of designs by Juju templates to use to make stuff like that. I mostly use my embroidery machine as a money saver rather than a money maker because I can make all this stuff for all these grandkids with their names on it and give it to them. And very few of my grandchildren have conventional names. Is that the right way to put that? Um, just like when I was a kid, I couldn't find anything that had Lissa on it. It was all Melissa and various spellings of that. Most of my grandkids, like I have Liam and Aiden, but I've also got, Kairos and different names that are a little more unusual. And they're not necessarily spelled the way you would think so. Dawn, the thing, oh, I don't know if Stephanie did a big video on it or if it was all little videos. But she did a Designs by Juju in the hoop embroidery tree skirt. And if I remember correctly, each petal was based on one of the names of Jesus. So there was like Messiah and Hosanna and different names for Jesus in different languages and cultures and things. And it is the most beautiful thing. And I want to make it, but I can't take on a project that big right now. Not when I've got 43 quilts floating around. I need to finish. I have 33 right now, actually. But I can imagine that Nutcracker embroidery. So who inherits the Nutcracker when mom passes? Has she decided that yet? Otherwise, you and any brothers or sisters you have are going to be at blows, fighting over it, having fisticuffs. Yes, there was. Oh, there was a longer video on it? Okay. I am so far out of it, guys. Oh, I have been laser focused on, well, building my channel, trying to find a house when all that was going down because the guy finally flaked out. He's not buying the place, and we haven't decided for sure if we're going to put this on the market or if we're just going to go ahead and work it like it's, our job anyway, which is what we bought it for to start with. Oh, you should. You should, Dawn. Okay, Patty. Um, but anyway, so we haven't 100% decided. I'm moving forward as if we're going to stay here for the rest of our lives because when we bought the place, that's what we did. Oh, okay. You meant the different names for God. I don't remember seeing um a whole video on it, like on the whole thing. But I did see the shorts that she put out for it, which were really pretty. Um, but anyway, so that's where I've been here lately, is kind of laser focused on getting my room done. And this is the year of the scrap. I'm trying to get rid of all my scraps. We all know that that's an impossible task, but why not? I'll try. And I'm working on some projects as my channel is growing. I'm thinking I need to put some not bigger projects out there, but some more informative things out there for people. And I'm working on organizing. Oh my God, I'm working on organizing. Um, so, I did 30 days and I was like, there's no way I'm going to get this done in 30 days. And there's not. So I am working on it. Things are moving forward. That whole shelf over there has been redone. I still don't like it. So I'm still working on it and we'll get there. And if I don't get it organized this year, there's next year, right? But I am working on it. And Dawn's laughing. What did I do now? Oh, the dog needs to go out. So did I miss any questions on anything? You doubt your brother will want it? Yeah, my brother took some stuff I thought for spite. He took all of our kids' pictures, all of our pictures from when we were kids. So I have none of my grade school pictures. I have none of the pictures my mom took of my kids, that kind of stuff. Somebody else has a list too. I think it was Allison on Mom and Pop's that said she has a list with like detailed plans. Mom said she's super organized. And I'm like, well, she's more organized than I am. I'm going to turn this off. All these lights on is making it hot in here and making everything glare. My head is just like, whoa. But yeah, I've got a calendar. I should do that too, Tracy. Write it down. All right, so I'm looking. Has everybody's link been shared? Dawn's and Colleen's. And let's see. Allison does have quite the list from what I understand. She's booked until what, 3004 or something? And Sylvia, somebody share Sylvia's link for me if you haven't. Yeah, I know Nancy's husband was waiting on some results. We're all connected. How do you disconnect the host? Come on. What scared you, Deborah? An embroidery project? Sylvia, Colleen, Dawn, Kelly. Okay, good. All right, guys. Colleen got on to me for this last time, so I'm trying to make sure I give you guys plenty of time to say hello, goodbye, and make sure everybody's links are in there. But this is your 1 minute warning that I'm going to close the chat in just a couple of minutes. And I appreciate you guys joining me. I have figured out what my saying is. If anybody wants to look too close at your stuff that you make, tell them to go home. That's it. It's what I say every time I do a long time sew on something. Kindness is contagious. Be the light you hope to see in others. Oh yeah, my list is long too, Deborah. I appreciate everybody being here. Thank you for watching. And don't let people criticize your work. That's not their job. All right. I love you guys. Y'all have a good night. Thank you. Hey, good night, Patty. Good night, all. Let's see.